This week on Cardinals Connection, we're talking new desert sand unis, Marco Wilson's Instagram blow up, Kyler Murray saying he's the best shape of his life, mini camp buzz, Jaire Alexander rumors. We've got it all. Stay tuned.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Cardinals Connection.
Palmer extending the play.
Nobody there.
Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is going to take it into Green Bay territory. Larry Fitzgerald inside the 30, the 20.
If he
Larry
scores, it's
Fitzgerald
over.
is insane to the 4-yard line. One of the greatest postseason performers ever.
The sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome to the sickest Arizona Cardinals podcast, now called Cardinals Connection with James, also known as MHJ era _, and me, Kelly Singh at Kelly in Phoenix. Last week, James, we introduced you. We had a little episode.
It was fun. Had a great time.
Me too. And I think people were excited that you finally started podcasting.
I know I finally face revealed, so now people have a name, a face to the person, to the account.
I just realized I wasn't even talking in my microphone, so
It's all good.
I'm sure it was probably fine anyway.
I'm glad everybody's able to see me now, and I hope this podcast takes off.
Me too. I mean, already we were seeing a little uptick. I want to get the listener numbers because I know listener numbers are always better than viewer numbers, but still. Very exciting. So we're back for episode 2 of season 4. And today we're going to be talking about desert sand rivalry reunions. Desert sand rivalry unis. That's kind of a mouthful. Marco Wilson crashing out on Instagram. Kyler Murray doing Kyler things. Jaire Alexander. We got a lot of topics today.
It was a busy week.
It really was. I mean, the Twitter sphere, X land, was really popping off.
I love it. That's what I love.
You live for that, I know.
I'm glad to finally talk about it and, finally debrief it.
Let's air it out because I have some opinions. Let's talk about these desert sand rivalry uniforms. People have opinions. I have opinions. It's been mentioned across the internet in several different places. And there have been plenty of mock-ups. They're tan. Tan has been word on the street with like red accents. Of course, we haven't seen the real thing. What do you think about these?
I feel like it's due time. I feel we've had the same red, white, black color schemes for the longest time. And now we're in desert sand. We're in the desert. Arizona is the desert. So I feel that definitely gives us an identity that we didn't have before. So I'm excited to see the desert sand rivalry uniforms for sure.
I am too. And I think it just builds on the whole new entry video that they had unrolled on. I can't even speak today, but the I am the storm and the dust is blowing through and it's all brown and
for sure. Did you see you were at the games last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had the whole desert promo. So it's finally good that we're leaning into it.
Yeah.
About this time. I feel desert sand is definitely something that should have been done a while ago, but now rivalry uniforms, Nike can do a great thing. They can do so much with.
I got into it. I don't know if getting into it's the right word. I was just like telling someone they were being a little dramatic, saying to cancel the season if these uniforms came to fruition. Um,
I know. I feel
is that not dramatic?
especially on Twitter, they everybody has overreactions, but I'm excited for it. I would love a tan uniform, more with black accents. I The second mock-up that they did, I think the graphic god did it. Shout out the graphic god, but he did desert sand and black uniform, and that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that one.
There's different shades of tan being used. If it gets too yellow, then I'm like, nope, I'm out on that one. It's like you have to have the perfect sand shade. But here's the real drama. Red on red, and everybody's saying we also need to add red on white.
Red
And
on white is perfect. Red on white is perfect. I feel that's a subtle change where we can easily do. It's just white pants, and it looks good. It looks clean. It looks like something that the Cardinals should definitely lean into, I would say.
I think the more options, the better. There's an account on X called NFL Fashion Advice.
He has to be a Cardinals fan. I
I,
see him. He always posts about the Cardinals, and
he
I
does,
love that. I
but
love that he shows love.
we didn't win the helmet battle, which is understandable. The Rams helmet is pretty cool, I must say. Although I do love our sparkly paint on the helmets.
I do like our helmets, but I definitely understand our helmets are kind of bland. I would say,
Yes,
just a white helmet with a cardinal sticker. It's kind of bland. We're not gonna win the. That's a. We have pretty good in the NFC West. We have a pretty good helmet. Honestly, all the uniforms in the NFC West look pretty nice.
they
So
do. But overall, I will say, and I was trying to be very unbiased, that I do think the Cardinals have probably the best set of uniforms, if not just the best set of whites. Now,
that's the white.
whites made me a little crazy last year. They wore them so many times, like a
I get
lot.
it. I feel we definitely just need more uniforms. I feel right now we just have red, white, and black. We don't have any throwbacks. We should definitely at least get more uniforms or uniform combinations, I would say, for
I
sure.
agree. How do you guys feel? Let us know. Hit us up, Kelly and Phoenix, MHJ era underscore. Let us know what you think about uniforms.
I'm excited. It's always good to definitely get new uniforms. I definitely will be getting that Desert Sand Marvin Harrison Jr. jersey. That's going to be a good one right there.
I agree. I feel like they're gonna sell really well. So that's good. That's good. Okay, let's move on. This was lighting up my feed. Marco Wilson was all over the place in my feed this week,
Marco
crashing
Wilson.
out.
For sure. He did block me on Twitter. It's funny.
Oh my goodness, he blocked you?
It was funny. Because he was Max Melton had growing pains as a rookie, as all rookies do, especially cornerback. That's a very hard position. And I feel he had problems with the previous regime, which we all did. We all did. I feel Cliff Kime, they didn't do a great job in implementing hard work. They treated the NFL as a job, but at the same time, we're here to win. We don't want to just watch you guys go in, week out, and just collect paychecks.
Yep.
We're fans. We spend our hard-earned money to support this team. We've done it for years, and we want a great product. And I feel Cliff Kime, they didn't build a great product that was sustainable. So they got a lot of older veterans, and they just relied on talent more than actual coaching. So seeing that we're actually getting great coaching is good to see.
I agree. I think the coaching has been great despite any of our insights as fans and like why, second guessing decisions and things like that. But overall, I think that this coaching staff, this rebuild has been nothing but good for us. But Marco Wilson answered an Instagram in question of what did he do wrong. And then his reply was play for the Cardinals was one of them. I bet his coaches didn't help him break down the pre-snap process. I can go on about what went wrong. And then a fan is asking, was it the Cardinals' fault you got cut in New England? And then he's like, the entire staff got cut. But then he came back saying, 100% my fault anytime I got cut. I'm not that delusional. So he did come back, and I'm guessing, let's see what this. It's another hour. They're like within hour increments. So my guess is he saw the clapback on the
Oh,
interwebs.
for sure. There was a bunch of people that were definitely coming back at him. I feel his quality of play in Arizona was not up to par, and that's why he got cut in 2023, and it was deserved. I feel Marco Wilson, especially playing with the Cliff regime, like I reiterated before, it's hard.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't take the job serious, but now I'm glad we cut dead weight. I feel that 2022 era where everybody we just didn't hit on draft picks. We
Yeah.
didn't we didn't hit on draft picks, and the draft picks that we did get, they just didn't play well. They didn't play well, and
Yeah.
Marco Wilson did not play well when he was here, and he was eventually cut.
And now he's been cut from the Patriots. And I guess that's kind of what set things off. But he cannot blame a coaching staff that doesn't even exist anymore or say that that coaching staff that doesn't exist anymore is harmful to the team. That's just silly. So I think that probably is what prompted that last
Exactly, and I
comment.
feel also Bidwell. Ever since the report cards came out, it's kind of put Bidwell more in the light, where it's been showing, he's been running the team not to a NFL standard,
Right.
having players pay for food, facilities are outdated. College facilities are better than the facilities in Arizona right now. The more the report cards come out, it comes to light, hey, this is messed up. This needs to change. And I feel now that it's public, it's gonna be better for us. I feel Bidwell is one of those guys where he doesn't like to look bad. He doesn't
No.
like to look bad. So as time goes on, he's definitely gonna get stuff right, I would say.
I agree with you, and we've already seen changes where the players are not paying for their own meals anymore, so that's exciting. They did some upgrades to the training facility, but a lot of people are saying it's just the aesthetics, like new chairs and new paint, like that kind of stuff.
The Cardinals did release that they are getting a brand new training facility in 2027. So that is something to look forward to. I'm excited to see when that's built and how that comes out. That's going to be fun to see.
Despite Marco Wilson's remarks against a coaching staff that doesn't exist, players still want to come and be part of the Cardinals because they can see what we're building, and it's exciting.
Exactly. I feel this is a new era for sure. Like it's kind of played out, but I feel definitely this new regime, players want to play here. I remember when Buda Baker didn't want to play here, and ever since we got the new regime, he's re-signed. He's the leader of the team, and even Kyler's mood has changed, where
Yep.
he's taken a leadership role, and he's been in the facility a lot more and focusing up more. And I feel that's just the regime in general is just infectious, where the team wants to be good, the players want to be good, the coaches want to be good, hopefully the front office wants to be good. I don't know. We'll see. But it's infectious. So it's definitely a good time to be an Arizona Cardinal fan.
Speaking of Kyler Murray, year 7.
Here's
I have not been a Kyler hater. It's easy to jump on the bandwagon. I will say I have been critical at times, which
yes.
I think is fair. Uh, Especially the amount of money. At one point, he was the highest paid quarterback, I believe, and we didn't get anything out of it. We didn't get anything leading up to it. We didn't get anything since, and now we're in year 7 and we're gelling and it looks like things are working well. But no, it's not a but. He says it's the best I've ever felt.
I feel great. I feel great. Personally, feel the best I've ever felt. As far as the unit goes, I love what obviously JG, Amani, and the guys upstairs have done. I believe the game starts in the trenches, and I think we attacked that area for sure. For me, now it's just about going and doing it on the field during the season.
I believe it. He's coming off 2 years off ACL injury. The biggest thing in general, I would say, is Kyler. He tries. He has one or two bonehead mistakes a game, and sometimes that costs us. Sometimes it doesn't. But as you've seen during the end of the 2024 season, that cost us a lot. Where he's trying to make a play, he's throwing arm punts to the Vikings. We definitely should have won that game against the Vikings. 2 picks in a row against the Seahawks. And I feel those mistakes he has to definitely control in 2025.
And it seems like he wants to. I think it's we keep saying the last year at least. I know we're like, this is a make or break year. And now it's year 7. This is a make or break year. But really, how many years does a franchise wait for a playoff? Just bare minimum.
For sure, for sure. And I think when we say it's a make or break year, it actually is for 2025. I feel I was looking at the cap situation with Kyler Murray, and 2026, if we cut or trade Kyler Murray, uh, that does not uh, affect our cap. So we'll
Mm,
actually save money. So that's the biggest thing. So if Kyler's the guy, if Kyler can prove that he's the guy for 2026 and beyond, this is the year because after 2025, there's no cap hit. There's no strings attached. I would
mm.
at that point.
That
So
is such a good point. I hadn't even taken that into consideration.
So it's definitely big, especially with all the new quarterbacks coming out next year. It's going to be a big quarterback heavy draft next year, which is going to actually be pretty fun to see. But biggest thing for Kyler is, can you be consistent? I feel consistency has been his biggest flaw the past 2 years.
For sure. And when we talk about NFL football, this is winning and losing games. When we talk about fantasy football, Kyler Murray is a hot pick because he's racking up rushing points, he's racking up long ass passes. He's doing a lot of things, scoring his own touchdowns at times. So Kyler Murray is great for fantasy football. And where consistency doesn't necessarily matter as long as he's making these one-off plays. However, we want to win NFL regular season and make the
That's the
playoffs.
biggest thing. Yes, Kyler Murray in fantasy definitely a dual threat quarterbacks in general. Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, all those Jalen Hurts, all those guys that are weapons with their legs and their arm.
Mm-hmm.
Hot commodities in fantasy football. I feel the biggest thing for Kyler that's we'll have to see is Drew Petzing definitely hindered his passing yards per game.
Yeah.
I've I don't know the exact stats, but I'm pretty sure his passing yards per game last year definitely went down just due to we're a run first team. We didn't throw the ball as much. The passing schemes were atrocious. I'm not a fan of Drew Petzing's passing schemes, but I feel that's the biggest wonder when it comes to Kyler Murray in fantasy is Petzing going to let Kyler be Kyler? And I feel last year he didn't let Kyler be Kyler.
And part of that, which we touched on lightly last week, could be the O line. And do we have that situation rectified this season? He needs a strong O line. So he can see down the field, so he doesn't have to scramble all the time, so that there's just some breathing room. That's just me watching from the outside, but it reminds me a lot of the Ravens when Lamar first came on the scene and they were a run first team. And now it's like opposite almost. So we can get there and we have the skill in Kyler. We have the weapons available. So like you said, it kind of comes down to the scheme and O-line. How do you feel about that?
The O line is definitely serviceable. I don't feel we're the worst in the league when it comes to O line. I feel, especially with our new O line coach being Justin Fry and coming from Ohio State, he has a lot of a good repertoire with Paris Johnson Jr.
Yeah.
I feel coaching in general with that line will be better as long as it can stay healthy. I feel our line will definitely be in the better half of lines in the NFL.
I'm going to mix things up from our show sheet, come back to the fourth segment. Let's talk about mandatory mini camp because we're seeing some pretty interesting things coming out of mini camp. One glaring thing I'm noticing is there's a lot of passing, which we just talked about, a lot of long bombs, and not just to Marvin Harrison Jr. They're definitely bringing Michael Wilson into the fold, and that's a great thing. What are some of your observations?
I feel you definitely have to air it out this year. Everybody in the NFL wants him to succeed. When Marvin Harrison Jr.'s photo where he looks like he's on steroids came
Yeah.
out, NFL was tweeting about it. Bleacher Report was tweeting about it. It went viral. So everybody wants to see this guy succeed. He's humble. He's hardworking. You can't not root for the guy, I would say. I feel you put so much stock into this person. Last year, you didn't utilize him as much as you should.
Mm-hmm.
I feel definitely he's working hard. You know, he's getting bigger in the offseason. Got to get him the ball. You gotta design plays for him. You can't have him be a sacrificial X receiver and just run and go routes all the time.
That's something I was going to ask you is it's definitely seems to be scheme related. Are they giving him the routes that he needs? So are the wide receivers, is Marvin Harrison Jr., does he have the ability to be like, hey, I want more passes?
I feel like Marv definitely needs to speak up about that, but you know he's a humble guy. He's a quiet
Right.
guy. He he goes in, clock out. Uh, but I feel when I was watching, I saw a couple videos of Marvin Harrison Jr. running slants, short passes, curls, comebacks, and it looked amazing. Like his release package is top tier. His release package is great, and I feel you have to utilize that. When Marvin Harrison Jr. came out of Ohio State, he was known as a route runner, as known as the crispest route runner in the game. Like when people seen him, they said, "Oh yeah, he's pro ready already," and I feel like we didn't utilize him in the route running ability. You know, get him on slants, get him the ball. I
Mm-hmm.
feel get him going. They didn't get him going. There's a lot of games where he didn't get a catch until the second quarter, or he'd get a catch in the first quarter and he wouldn't get a catch until the third quarter. So I feel, especially if you have a top receiver like that, you wouldn't you wouldn't throw to Jamar Chase one time and then wait till the fourth quarter to throw Jamar Chase. You wouldn't do that to
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. You're gonna keep throwing to him, and I to get these guys going. And I feel definitely Drew Petzing did not do a good job of drawing up plays for Marvin Harrison to get him going, to get him the ball, especially even week 2 against the Rams where he went off for 140 yards. They didn't throw it to him in the second half. They got him. They got it to him in the first half.
Right.
They didn't throw it to him in the second half, and
That was so weird.
it's so crazy. It's like this guy just put up. He got 4 catches for 140 yards, and you just stop throwing to him. It just doesn't make sense. I feel you have to, especially with a star player, a star receiver in general, you have to keep feeding these guys, even if they don't catch the ball, even if it's a bad pass, bad throw. You gotta get these guys looks, or they're gonna check out. Nobody wants to just run block, 90 plays a game, and I feel that's the biggest thing that I want to see this upcoming season.
Well, you're not alone. I do feel like there maybe is something building up that they're preparing for a double team. So they have to get Michael Wilson more involved. And Michael Wilson, like we spoke about last week, is an amazing athlete. He's got great hands. So I have a feeling we're going to see that double team. We're going to see passes to Michael Wilson, and then teams are going to have to make a decision on who they're going to cover, and that's going to free up, hopefully, Marvin Harrison Jr. That's just my little like dream scenario.
I
Um,
I do I am a Michael Wilson supporter for sure. I feel, especially watching his route running, I feel like he runs with a purpose. He's not dancing. He gets to his spots and he can make catches. I feel he just doesn't get enough targets in
yeah,
our system as much as he should. But I feel if he actually gets that shine where he gets some looks, I feel he can definitely be a great wide receiver too.
I think that's what we need. It has to be, or we're not gonna get through that double team situation that could come up.
For sure. And I know Trey McBride was definitely a big part of our offense last year. And I feel he definitely should be a big part of
Yes.
our offense this upcoming season. But at the same time, I feel don't telegraph anything. I feel if throw it to the open man, design plays just to get the offense involved. I feel especially last year, there was a lot of times where the receivers just were disconnected
Yeah.
because they knew they weren't getting the ball. So they're not going as hard as they should because, why would I want to block if I know, or why would I want to run this route if I know this ball's not coming to me? So I think that's definitely something that I want to see in 2025.
Same, same. All right, let's back it up. Jaire. I asked my friend Laquan how to pronounce this.
Jaire Alexander. Yep.
Jaire Alexander, released from the Packers, Pro Bowl cornerback. They needed salary cap space, apparently. Does he make sense for Arizona?
I don't think so. I am not on board with Jaire Alexander being a Cardinal. Sean Murphy Bunting is definitely not the same quality of player as Jaire Alexander. Jaire Alexander's a lot better, but at the same time, paying somebody 15, $20 million a year, we don't know if this guy can stay healthy. He's missed a ton of games the past 4 years where you're putting all these resources, you're putting all this money into this guy. It's a question mark. I'm definitely confident with the CB room that we have now. I feel Will Johnson should definitely, get thrown in there week 1. Max Melton is definitely going to start
Yeah.
growing. And we have Elijah Jones coming back. Garrett Williams starting to make a name for himself. So I feel our cornerback room is definitely to the point where we don't need a Jaire Alexander. I feel we should grow our guys from the ground up.
I was kind of indifferent. Then I noticed all the teams are, he's coming here, he's coming here, he's coming here. So
I feel like that happens on Twitter way too often. Everybody
it
sees a
does.
shiny new toy and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's a Cardinal. He's whatever." And honestly, I wouldn't pay the money to get Jaire. I want to stick with Will Johnson. I feel he was definitely projected to be a top 10 pick in the 2025 NFL draft until the knee rumors all came along. So getting him in the second round, honestly, we got 2 first-round picks, I would say.
Yeah. The knee stuff I think got blown out of proportion. I hope I don't eat my words, but according to him himself, he's been healed for a couple years now. So
I feel it. And Josh Sweat honestly had the same concerns coming out of college as well. That's why he fell to the fourth round. He had the knee issue. He had an ACL issue, and people weren't willing to take a chance. And look at Josh Sweat now. He's one of a top tier. He's a top tier defensive edge. So,
very coveted when he became available, and we snatched him up. And
for sure. That was a good pick. Did you finally see him get out on the field?
yes, I'm seeing all kinds of Sweat jokes and nicknames.
He looks good. He looks good. I feel he looks like he's really in shape and he took care of his body, and that's gonna be fun to see.
Working.
It's gonna be fun to see with him and a healthy BJ Ojulari. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this defensive line could do in general.
You had interaction with somebody saying the sweaty BJ combo.
I saw that.
I'm just like, boy, bye.
Yo, it low-key fits.
It does. It does. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
All right, let's do a little rapid fire here, James, before we get out of here. I mean, rapid fire, favorite part of camp is not really rapid fire, but what was your favorite part of camp so far?
I think it was just seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. grow. That's the biggest thing. Seeing Darius Robinson and Walter Nolan together, I feel like that's going to be something that's going to be special coming into camp. I see, Darius Robinson is in great shape. Walter Nolan looks definitely fast as advertised. So I'm excited to see what those two can do, especially Darius Robinson kind of having a injury season last year. So it's going to be fun seeing both of those guys on the field.
What game uniform do you like the most?
What game uniform? I like the all whites.
I like the all whites too.
I like the all whites. The all blacks are cool too. I don't mind those. Yeah, I like the all whites.
We'll just have to wait and see the desert ones. Then we can decide.
For sure. I'm excited.
We already answered this one. Jaire Alexander, yes or no? I think we're out on him.
I think the money just isn't right, and I like our CB room more than what we have, or more than getting Jaire.
Marco Wilson's comments: lame or justified?
Lame.
And that's a wrap, James. We did it. Episode 2.
All right. It was fun. This one was good.
Thanks, everybody, so much for tuning in.
Be sure to like, comment, and share whether you're watching us on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast app. And be sure to follow us on X at Kelly and Phoenix and also MHJEra_.
See you next week.
All right.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Cardinals Connection on YouTube, X, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.